Mga kababayan, magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. At sa ating mga kaibigan sa media at sa ating mga magigiting at bayaning frontliners. Kahapon po, walang inilabas na bagong resolution ang IATF dahil po ilan sa amin na mga miyembro ng gabinete ay sumama po sa Special ASEAN Summit on COVID-19 kasama syempre ang ating mahal na Pangulo. Kaya ang briefing natin ngayon ay tututok po sa dalawang bagay. Una, mga updates hinggil sa mga hakbang ng gobyerno kontra sa COVID-19. At pangalawa, mga pinag-usapan po ng mga pinuno ng ASEAN. Kasama po dyan ang mga pinuno mula sa Brunei, Darussalam, Kingdom of Cambodia, Republic of Indonesia, Lao People's Democratic Republic, Malaysia, Republic of the Union of Myanmar, Republic of the Philippines, Republic of Singapore, Kingdom of Thailand, Socialist Republic of Vietnam. Sa ginanap na Special ASEAN Summit on COVID-19 at ang ASEAN Plus 3 Summit na naging kasama po natin ang mga pinuno mula sa People's Republic of China, Japan at ang Republic of Korea on COVID-19 pa rin na ginanap po kahapon via video conference. Ito po ang pinakaunang pagkakataon na nagkaroon po tayo ng ASEAN Summit at ASEAN Plus 3 Summit via videocon. For our updates, I would like to begin by sharing the status of our water and power supplies this summer. The National Water Resources Board, or NWRB, reports that it has given the full water allocation of 46 cubic meters per second to MWSS from the Angat Reservoir until April 30, 2020 to ensure the continuous supply of water in Metro Manila. Kaya makakaasa po tayong lahat na tuloy-tuloy po ang daloy ng tubig dito sa NCR sa kalagitnaan ng Enhanced Community Quarantine or ECQ. As for the power demands in Luzon, the Department of Energy reports that we have an available capacity of 11,795 megawatts, which is greater than the actual peak demand of 7,323 megawatts in Luzon. This means we currently have an excess capacity of 4,742 megawatts. Ibig po sabihin, lubos din po ang supply ng ating kuryente dito po sa Luzon. Sa mga kababayan nating kumukonsumo ng mas mababa sa 50 kilowatt per hour o yung tinatawag na lifeline consumers na mga electric cooperatives dito po sa Luzon, maging sa Visayas at Mindanao, maliban sa isang buwan na grace period sa pagbabayad ng kuryente, libre na po ang inyong konsumo sa loob ng March to April billing period. Target na tulungan ng pantawid, liwanag, ang 3 milyong mahirap na consumer ng ating mga electric co-op. Salamat sa National Electrification Administration, NEA, sa PhilReca at sa ating mga electric co-op sa inyong tulong at ambag sa bayanihang ito. Sinisigurado din po ng gobyerno na may sapat na pagkain at bigas dito sa Luzon habang tinutuloy ang ECQ. The Department of Agriculture reports that it recently distributed 80,000 sacks of rice from regions 1, 2, and 3 to Kamanava or Caloocan, Malabon, Navotas area. It has also provided, among others, assorted vegetable seeds and seedlings to 173,957 beneficiaries through its urban agriculture program and distributed fingerlings and seaweed propagules to 1,005 fish pond and cage operators and seaweed farmers. To help in the distribution of produce, the DA has also been working with around 12,000 farmers and market workers as part of its Kadiwa activities. In the Bicol region, Kadiwa gross sales reached 4.6 million pesos, and the DA hopes to replicate this in other regions as well. Tinututukan pa rin po ng pamahalaan ang pagbigay ng tulong pinansyal sa mga manggagawa, magsasaka at mga pamilyang nangangailangan. Sa report po ng Department of Labor, umabot na po sa 219,458 ang mga manggagawa na nakatanggap ng tulong mula sa COVID-19 Adjustment Measures Program or CAMP ng DOLE na nagbibigay ng 5,000 piso sa ating mga affected workers. 5,000 din po ang ibinigay ng Department of Agriculture sa mga magsasaka sa ilalim ng kanilang Rice Farmers Financial Assistance Program. Ipinasok na po ang pondo sa mga account ng 328,282 na magsasaka. May additional po na 46,575 na magsasaka na nakatanggap din ng 5,000 pesos sa ilalim ng Sure Aid and Financial Subsidy for Rice Farmers. Pagdating naman po sa Emergency Subsidy Program ng Department of Social Welfare and Development, a total of 922 million pesos worth of emergency subsidies have been distributed to 170,989 low-income, non-4-piece families. Bukod pa po ito sa 3.72 million 4-piece beneficiaries na nakatanggap na ng top-up subsidy nila. Naipamigay na rin po ng DSWD ang emergency subsidies sa 40,418 na tsuper ng TNVS at mga driver ng ating mga pampublikong sasakyan. In addition to this, the DSWD has distributed a total of 61.9 million pesos to 13,135 clients for COVID-19 concerns under the Assistance to Individuals in Crisis Situations Program. Ngayon, sa ilalim pa rin po ng Social Amelioration Program ng pamahalaan, higit sa 57.49 billion pesos na po ang naipamahagi mula sa DSWD patungo sa 934 local government units bilang pagtugon sa mga pangangailangang pinansyal ng ating mga low-income families. So since the allocation for the 18 million low-income families is a total of about 80.9 billion pesos, the 57.49 billion pesos already distributed to the different LGUs account for 72.3% of the fund. And DSWD aims to complete the distribution of all the funds to all LGUs by this week, subject to the cooperation of the remaining LGUs. Now, the Department of Finance, on the other hand, is set to launch the Small Business Wage Subsidy Program, which aims to provide a 5,000 peso to 8,000 peso cash subsidy for up to 2 months to around 3.4 million middle-income employees of small businesses. And that was what we discussed yesterday. Okay. The identification, treatment, and care of those that have contracted COVID-19 remain a top priority of this government, of your government. According to the Department of Health, As of April 14, 43,500 tests have been conducted on 38,103 individuals, which now leaves us with an inventory of 99,750 test kits. But as we announced, more test kits are arriving. Okay. We currently now have 5,223 confirmed cases of COVID-19 in the country. 3,151 of which are currently admitted in our hospitals. The DOH reports that 20 more lives were claimed by this COVID-19 virus, bringing the total number of COVID-19 related deaths to 335. But DOH likewise reports the highest number of recoveries in a single day, with 53 new recoveries as of April 14, bringing the total number of recoveries to 295. Kaya maraming salamat po sa ating mga healthcare workers, ating mga doktor, mga nurse, mga health professionals natin. Kayo po ang last line of defense laban sa sakit na to. And you have been doing the utmost to save the lives of your fellow Filipinos. Maraming nababahala dun sa pag-akyat ng bilang ng mga COVID-19 na ngayon nasa more than 5,000 na tayo, 5,223. Pero gusto ko lang din pong sabihin na this increase in the COVID-19 cases po natin is obviously a function of the expansion of our testing capacity. So the more tests we conduct, the more positive COVID-19 we expect to see. At ang treatment po dyan is as long and as soon as we find out na COVID-19, then we will know already immediately ano yung health interventions na gagawin natin sa pasyente na yun. Kaya importante pong ma-monitor natin kung sino yung COVID-19, kailangan ma-test natin sila. Kailangan ng health interventions agad. At isang numero na binabantayan talaga natin is syempre yung rate of recovery. Now, apart from this, the Department of Health informs us that staysafe.ph, a new website and mobile app, has been launched to help them monitor the real-time health condition of COVID-19 patients as well as to aid government in tracking suspected and confirmed COVID-19 cases. May mga nagtatanong sa amin kung legit ba itong staysafe.ph. Opo. Kasama po yan sa mga mekanismo at official government apps po natin. Pagdating sa mga quarantine at isolation facilities naman, handa na po tumanggap ng pasyente na may banayad o walang sintomas na COVID-19 ang 6 na COVID-19 We Heal as One centers. 2 barko at ang yate yate ng gobyerno, no, ang BRP ng Pangulo. Ang BRP na ang Pangulo. And as of April 11, 2,705 quarantine facilities with a total bed capacity of 166,435 have been built, serving 1,644 confirmed, probable, and suspected COVID-19 patients with mild symptoms. A total of 29 evacuation centers are now being used as quarantine facilities, serving a total of 494 suspect, probable, and possible cases. Before proceeding to the second part of the briefing, i-share ko lang po na rin na sabi ng Philippine National Police na umaabot na po sa 108,088 sa buong bansa ang lumalabag sa ECQ as of April 13. Napapansin po ito ni Pangulong Duterte at syempre mga miyembro ng IATF na medyo nagiging kampante na po ang ating mga kababayan pagdating sa ECQ. So, to address this and the reported increase in the number of vehicles traveling along EDSA and other major thoroughfares ng Metro Manila, at sa utos ng ating Pangulo, the Philippine National Police will strictly impose the policy on authorized persons outside of residence or APOR. The PNP-HPG has been directed to implement the following measures beginning today. Number 1, the inspection of private vehicles to determine whether the driver and passengers belong to the list of APOR or not. Number 2, if the driver or any of the passengers is not authorized, HPG will issue LT-TOP or MMDA OVR tickets against the drivers of those private vehicles transporting unauthorized persons outside residence as identified by JTF CV Shield. So, sino po ang mga authorized persons? Ito po ang mga kasama sa mga exemptions na naibanggit na rin po ng IATF. Tulad ng mga medical and health workers, mga empleyado ng mga essential services, mga frontliners at iba pa. Kung mapansin nyo po, humihigpit na po ang ating mga pulis sa mga checkpoints ng ating mga barangay. Sana po intindihin natin na magiging effective lang itong ECQ sa pag-contain ng COVID-19 kung tayo ay hindi basta-basta na lang nakakaikot at lumalabas. This is all being done for us and for our families in order to prevent the virus from spreading. We appeal to everyone to please cooperate and as much as possible, stay home. Kaya bahay muna, buhay muna. So, pakiusap lang po, no? Maghihigpit na rin po ang PNP dito. At, syempre, yung lalabag, pasensya. Sana rin na rin po, even within our communities, pati at sa ating mga barangay, kung may mga pasaway din po, kumaring tayo na lang din mismo pagsabihan natin, let's police our own ranks. Let's police our own neighbors and communities. Now, please allow me to go to the second portion of today's briefing, the highlights of the Special ASEAN Summit on COVID-19 and the ASEAN Plus 3 Summit on COVID-19. Both activities were held yesterday via videocon, with President Rodrigo Duterte being joined via videocon by the heads of state of our ASEAN neighbors, as well as the heads of state of China, Japan, and South Korea. These summits were held yesterday because, as the President pointed out, ASEAN member nations and the entire world are in the middle of a catastrophe that is unprecedented in scale and devastating in impact for all, as quoted by the President. It's one that demands an effective strategic response that requires the members of ASEAN to work together to defeat an enemy that threatens the people of ASEAN and our nation's economies. As the President stressed in his remarks, and I quote, "To effectively overcome the challenge of the COVID-19 pandemic, ASEAN must collaborate and coordinate with our region and beyond." End of quote. These two summits also provided a venue for the leaders of the ASEAN to share their experiences and best practices with regard to their respective responses to the COVID-19 outbreak, to discuss their major concerns as they all work together to contain the outbreak, and to exchange thoughts on the way forward after we deal with this pandemic. So in the first activity, the Special ASEAN Summit on COVID-19, the President highlighted 4 major areas wherein ASEAN members can act collectively and support each other. These are, number 1, the need to boost the production and intra-ASEAN trade of vital medical equipment in light of the shortages experienced in our country's respective health systems. 2, food security. In particular, ensuring a steady supply of rice for our people, and the importance of remaining open for trade in order to keep supply chains connected. Number 3, vaccine research and development. And number 4, the preparations ASEAN needs to undertake to be ready for future outbreaks. Pagdating naman po sa pangalawang summit, ang ASEAN Plus 3 Summit on COVID-19, binanggit po ng Pangulo na kailangan ng ASEAN, China, Japan at South Korea i-prioritize ang mga sumusunod. Una, ang produksyon at kalakalan ng mga mahalagang kagamitan na kailangan sa ating mga ospital. Pangalawa, ang pagbuo ng regional reserves ng medical supplies para handa tayo sa ganitong klaseng outbreak. Pangatlo, ang kooperasyon sa science at research, lalo na pagdating sa pagdevelop ng mga bakuna at antiviral treatment. At pang-apat, ang food security o katiyakan sa pagkain. Kung naalala nyo po, nung Lunes, nabanggit ni Pangulong Duterte ang Avigan, isang gamot na ginagamit para sa flu at influenza. Isa ito sa mga pinag-usapan sa ASEAN Plus 3 Summit. The President had an exchange with Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe regarding this drug. And during the meeting, reiterated that the Philippines is ready to participate in clinical trials of potential vaccines like Avigan. According to Prime Minister Abe, there are about 50 countries that are interested in studying this drug further. And Prime Minister Abe gave special mention to President Duterte in this regard. In both summits, though the leaders present spoke different languages, the substance and themes of their remarks were similar in many respects. Like us in the Philippines, other nations in the ASEAN have adopted social distancing. They've restricted movement in order to prevent transmission of this COVID-19 disease within their respective countries. Most emphasized the need to break the chain of infection in each country and to work together to reduce the risk of cross-border infections. There was universal agreement regarding the need to keep trade open, to keep supply chains moving, and to ensure unhampered movement of goods. All acknowledge the need to mitigate the economic and social impact of the outbreak, especially since the member nations all generate revenues for tourism. There was a consensus that all the countries involved must coordinate and share information with each other, must leverage the digital technology to help combat this outbreak, and must prepare and build up their healthcare capabilities in order to be prepared for future outbreaks. At the end of the ASEAN Summit, a declaration was issued, the resolutions of which include Further strengthen public health cooperation measures to contain the pandemic and protect the people through timely and transparent exchange of information on real-time situation and pandemic response measures taken by each member state. Sharing of experience and best practices in epidemiological research and development, clinical treatment, joint research and development of vaccines and antiviral medicines, enhancing capacity for the public health systems of ASEAN member states while protecting and ensuring the safety of public health workers. Intensify cooperation for adequate provision of medicines, essential medical supplies and equipment, including but not limited to diagnostic tools, personal protective equipment, etc., and encourage the development of regional reserves of medical supplies. Bolster national and regional epidemic preparedness and response, including through the possible setting up of a network of experts on public health emergencies for future need, strengthening the capacity of existing ASEAN's emergencies response network. Remain committed to keeping ASEAN's markets open for trade and investment and enhance cooperation among ASEAN member states and also with ASEAN's external partners with a view to ensuring food security such as the utilization of the ASEAN Plus 3 Emergency Rice Reserve and strengthening the resiliency and sustainability of regional supply chains, especially for food, commodities, medicines, medical, and essential supplies. Encourage the development of a post-pandemic recovery plan to share lessons learned, restore ASEAN's connectivity, tourism, normal business, and social activities, prevent potential economic downturns. Task our economic ministers and senior economic officials to explore an arrangement to preserve supply chain connectivity, particularly among ASEAN member states, that provides for trade to continue for the smooth flow of essential goods, including medical, food, and essential supplies, ensure our critical infrastructure for trade and trading routes via air, land, and seaports remain open, and refrain from imposing unnecessary restrictions on the flow of medical, food, and essential supplies. Now, following the special ASEAN Plus 3 Summit, on the other hand, a joint statement in which its participants resolved to, among others, enhance national and regional capacities to prepare for and respond to pandemics, including the protection of healthcare workers and other frontline personnel, and the provision of adequate medicines and medical supplies, especially diagnostic tools, personal protective equipment, medical equipment, by adhering to the objectives of efficacy, safety, and accessibility. Consider setting up an APT reserve of essential medical supplies that enables rapid response to emergency needs. Encourage tapping on existing regional emergency reserve facilities, including the warehouses managed by the ASEAN Coordinating Center for Humanitarian Assistance on Disaster Management, among others. Further, consider the utilization of the ASEAN Plus 3 Emergency Rice Reserve. Strengthen scientific cooperation in epidemiological research, including through the APT Field Epidemiology Training Network, coordination, including with the private sector, towards rapid research, development, manufacturing, and distribution of diagnostics, antiviral medicines, and vaccines, adhering to the objectives of efficiency, safety, equity, accessibility, and affordability, as well as actively share and leverage on digital technologies and innovation to promote a science-based response to combat COVID-19. Reaffirm commitments to keep markets open for trade and investment and enhance cooperation among ASEAN Plus 3 countries with a view to ensuring food security, such as the utilization of the ASEAN Plus 3 Emergency Rice Reserve and strengthening the resiliency and sustainability of regional supply chains, especially for essential goods such as food, commodities, medicines, and medical supplies, through smooth and continued operation of the logistics networks, while ensuring that measures deemed necessary for the public health emergency response are targeted, proportionate, transparent, and do not create unnecessary barriers to trade or disruption to regional supply chains and are consistent with WTO rules. Reaffirm our commitments to strengthen joint efforts toward post-pandemic recovery, stimulate economic development and financial resilience, restore growth, connectivity and tourism, maintain market stability, and prevent potential risks of economic recession. Before ending, I would like to share the sentiments of one of the participant nations yesterday, one that we believe we should all take to heart. Regardless of the progress that our countries have made, we cannot be complacent. As emphasized by the World Health Organization Director General in the summit yesterday, and I quote, "The threat of COVID-19 to some is a threat to all." Mga kababayan, hindi tayo pwede maging kampante. Yun po yung bottom line. We must remain vigilant. We must continue to work together. We must make the necessary sacrifices to overcome the greatest public health crisis of our lifetime. Not just in the Philippines, but the ASEAN and the entire world. Kailangan natin magtulungan, magkaintindihan, at magbayanihan. Kailangan po natin magkaisa dito. Hindi lamang ang bawat Pilipino, kundi ang sangkatauhan ng buong mundo. Together with everyone in the entire world, we must beat COVID-19. And only together will we heal as one. Maraming salamat po. Babasahin ko na po yung mga katanungan ng ating mga nasa media. Mga kaibigan natin sa media from Leila Salaveria of PDI. There have been calls from lawmakers, the CHR, and other advocacy groups for the release of vulnerable prisoners, non-violent elderly detainees, low-risk detainees, political prisoners, and the like to prevent them from contracting COVID-19 in jail. What is the IATF's position on this, especially in light of the overcrowding in detention cells and prisons? The arrest and detention of curfew and quarantine violators also add to the overcrowding in the cells. How does the government plan to address this? We will defer to the Secretary of the Department of Justice in this regard. Pinag-usapan namin konti ng IATF. Siyempre, tinignan yung pros and cons, ano yung mga hakbang na pwede nating gawin, but we will defer to the DOJ Secretary. From Rose Novenario, Hataw, good morning po. Ano po ang reaction nyo sa pahayag ng grupong Filipino Nurses United na sa iniaalok na volunteerism scheme ng gobyerno sa healthcare workers, wala silang basic to just compensation and benefits at pinapipirma sila sa waiver na kapag nagkaroon sila ng COVID-19 ay walang pananagutan sa kanila kung wala pong may alok na maayos na sweldo at benepisyo sa kanila ang pamahalaan. Bakit sila pinagbabawalang magtrabaho sa ibang bansa? May 200,000 unemployed nurses sa buong bansa ayon sa FNU na maring maidagdag sa manpower pero dapat ay bigyan sila ng sapat na sweldo, benepisyo at security of tenure. Pwede ba itong gawin ng pamahalaan? Lahat po yan ay pinag-uusapan na, and in fact, kung natatandaan nyo, yung last resolution po ng IATF, nakalagay po doon, subject to the evaluation of the DBM, The DOH is directed to facilitate the emergency hiring of additional healthcare workers to assist in the local healthcare system. From Tina Mendez of PhilStars, since the lockdown, what are the challenges faced by the government in the rollout of family planning services in the various localities? What's the report of the Commission on Population or POPCOM and local government units to IATF? Yung present po ng POPCOM sa IATF is actually an evaluation tool. So it's an evaluation tool on demographic vulnerabilities that will guide us more, no, as policymakers and all the other departments. So yung tool na yon, ang inapprove ng IATF, ito yung gagamitin na tool, assessment and evaluation tool ng iba't ibang mga LGUs. But with regard to yung specifics ng tanong ni Tina, dun sa family planning services, I will defer to the POPCOM to respond on that. No? Please explain further, number 2, from Tina Mendez. Number 2, please explain further the government's economic recovery plan under a post-quarantine scenario. Hindi pa po namin pwedeng i-reveal, pero nung meeting namin with Pangulo, he tasked a small group made up of the economic managers. At syempre, isasama natin yung sa health aspect ng DOH dyan. So just a small select group that will discuss these things, no? Kasama na dyan yung economic recovery plan ng gobyerno. Pero until they will report that to the IATF, which, because it's ongoing now, no? Ginagawa na nila, pinag-aaralan na nila. In fact, there was a presentation that was made, but ang caveat, ang kolatilya dun was that hindi pa siya kompleto. They still need more data to complete the presentation. So, sinabi ni Pangulo na ituloy pa nila yung ginagawa nilang studies. From Chris Jose of Remate Online, may rekomendasyon po si DILG Undersecretary for Barangay Affairs, Martin Dino, na total lockdown sa ilang barangay, lalo na po yung mga may pasaway na constituents dahil po sa paglabag sa Luzon-wide enhanced community quarantine. Maiko-considera po ba ng IATF ang ganitong rekomendasyon? Well, that's one of the recommendations that obviously we are putting in the list of recommendations, no, na pinag-aaralan. Pero kung ano yung magiging hakbang ng IATF, again, pinag-uusapan yan, then we will come out with a decision. May ilan naman po na suggestion, alisin na lang po ang ECQ dahil nga po sa mga pasaway na residente. Matira ang matibay. Matira ang matibay na lang dahil marami naman ang hindi sumusunod sa ECQ. Ano po ang masasabi niyo po rito? Gaya ng sinabi ko, nabanggit ko kanina, it was an ASEAN summit, no? ASEAN summit, ang una ng umaga, then ng hapon, ASEAN plus 3, which is People's Republic of China, Japan, at Korea. Wala po sa mga iba't ibang mga leaders ng countries ang nagsabi na na pagpasaway, i-lift. Hindi po yan yung sagot dito. Pagpasaway, pasaway. So we treat ang pasaway with the law. But hindi natin pwedeng isacrifice ang kaligtasan at buhay ng bawat isang Pilipino dahil lamang may mga pasaway dyan. Di ba? At kailangan natin isipin, kaya mabuti nag-ASEAN Summit tayo eh. Kailangan natin isipin na itong ginagawa natin dito sa ating bansa, sa Pilipinas, does not only affect us, Filipinos. It affects the entire world. It affects our neighbors. It affects other countries. Yun po yung parang pinaka-message ng ASEAN Summit eh. Na gaya ng sabi ng WHO, Director General, no? Threat to some, A threat to any country ng COVID-19 is a threat to all. Kasi lahat tayo integrated lahat tayo connected. Trade, industry, travel, tourism. The entire world is connected somehow. And because of this virus, nakita nyo naman, if one country gets infected, the entire world gets infected. Kaya it's really a global war against COVID-19. Kaya yung decision po, mga decisions po natin, whether sa IATF or ni Pangulo, ang repercussions niyan is global. Hindi lang sa Pilipinas. Global po yan. Kaya hindi pwedeng may pasaway o di, sige, infect na lang natin lahat. Hindi po ganyan. You have to think this is not just about the Philippines. This is the entire world. So we cannot go that way. Hindi po tayo pwedeng pumunta sa ganyang daan. It cannot. We cannot afford it. The world cannot afford it. From Joseph Morong of GMA. Kaya, the reason why I'm saying this also is, para sa mga pasaway, siguro itong panahon na ito, na dapat mong isipin yung repercussions ng actions mo na nakaka-epekto ng ibang tao sa mundo. Yun lang. If from Joseph Morong of GMA7, to aid employees of small businesses, you said, excluded are those from big and medium businesses. But what happens to them? Will they have aid or is this camp na? Well, right now, we have to take care first, no, of those who need help the most. No. Meaning to say, yung hindi naman kasama dito are those na who have the means to help themselves. And in fact, one of the countries that spoke sa ASEAN Summit, ang ginagawa nga nila, yung mga big brothers, meaning to say, yung big brothers helping small brothers yun eh. Big sisters helping small sisters. Big brothers helping small brothers. Ibig sabihin, ang ginawa nila, big private companies are even helping the smaller ones. Big private companies helping the poor, the needy. And dito sa Pilipinas, ganun din eh. Marami rin tayong mga korporasyon, mga companies. And I've been mentioning and acknowledging them. And marami nga, hindi natin na-acknowledge kasi on their own, they're also helping. So, one of the leaders nga ng ibang nations, sinabi nga niya, ang most striking sa sinabi niya, we must change the culture of our peoples. We must now accept and practice a culture of sharing. Yun yung sinabi niya. Sa panahong ito, na kalaban natin ang COVID-19, sa panahong ito na iisa ang kalaban ng buong mundo, we must change our ways and integrate, accept, practice a culture of sharing. Wag na yung nilalamangan ako nito, nilalaman ako niyan, or ganun ang attitude. So, hindi yung, bakit ang tutulungan mo maliliit, kaming malalaki, hindi mo tulungan. Kaya mo naman eh. Kaya mo tulungan sarili mo. In fact, kaya mo nga tulungan yung maliit, di ba? So, I think it's time that we change the way we think and we change the way we help one another. From Eileen Taliping, Abante. Suportado ba ng IATF ang rekomendasyon ng DILG Undersecretary, nabasa ko na ba ito? Dino, na total lockdown para sa mga barangay na maraming pasaway? Nasagot ko na po. And also, Mga palengke na crowded pa rin like Blumentritt, may mas mabigat bang pwedeng gawin sa LGUs? Kasi parang hindi sila pinapakinggan ng mga tao. Ayokong pangunahan ng mga LGUs, no? But, you know, they can pass ordinances. They can pass executive orders. They can pass their own local laws. Kung gusto nilang mas mabigat, mas mahigpit, mas matinding parusa, or whatever means necessary para madisiplina ang kanilang mga constituents. From Joyce Balancio of DZMM, may kondisyon bang nakakabit sa cash aid? Kung saan lang pwedeng gamitin? Wala po. Wala pong ganun conditions. Pwede ba yung gawing puhunan sa maliit na negosyo para mapahaba yung takbo ng pera? Actually, yung sa DSWD, meron din po tayong livelihood assistance grant. So may tinabi rin po tayong pondo na livelihood assistance grant para pag na-lift na yung ECQ or magkaroon tayo ng mas relax na ECQ at maaari nang bumalik sa negosyo or panghanap buhay ang ating mga kababayan, mga mahirap natin na mga kababayan, yung mga most marginalized, yung low-income families, meron pong nakatabi na pondo na for livelihood assistance grant. So, iba pa po yun sa 5,000 to 8,000 na binibigay po natin sa mga low-income families. So, para ma-jumpstart din po yung ating ekonomiya, syempre, kailangan din natin ng micro-enterprises, no? So, meron tayong micro, small, medium enterprises, di ba? So, yung micro-enterprises, yun po yung para sa mga low-income families. And, kailangan po natin ng pondo para dyan. Kaya, kasama rin po sa ating social amelioration program ang livelihood assistance grant mula sa DSWD. But, ang condition lang is that can only be released and used, syempre, pag nagne-negosyo na. That is pag medyo na-relax na yung community quarantine levels natin. Joseph Morong, can we afford another extension to the April 30 ECQ? Ganito na lang. We're getting more data, no? So, number one, mas nakikita na natin yung rate of infection natin, no? Then, bukas na yung ating mga COVID-19 quarantine and isolation facilities, di ba? So, ang target po natin talaga is we test more, we identify them more, we isolate them more, we treat them more, we have more recoveries, di ba? So, yan yung ginagawa nating bagong sistema. So, while we are doing that and while that's being put in place na sa ngayon, and it will get better and better as the days go on, no? We'll have better capabilities, better capacities, etc. Then, at the same time, we are now considering ano yung mga pwede nang ibalik. Pero syempre, hindi siya pwedeng tulad ng dati. So, ibalik natin ang mga ganito, how much percentage ang pwede, ganyan-ganyan, tapos social distancing pa rin, tapos naka-mask pa rin, tapos kailangan may hygiene pa rin, tapos may disinfection. So all of that is slowly we are coming out with a game plan on what will happen after April 30. Now, hindi pa yan tapos kasi patuloy pa rin nating pinag-uusapan yan. Yung ating summit sa ASEAN was also very helpful kasi nakikita rin namin ano yung ginagawa ng ibang bansa. So, all of that, no, is being taken into consideration, pinag-aaralan, and then we're fine-tuning everything. And again, from Joseph Morong, pahabol, why not extend PhilHealth's full payment of COVID cases up to April 30? Actually, hindi ko masagot yan kasi I think PhilHealth siguro ang kausapin natin dyan, no? I don't want to answer also on their behalf, and I think it has a lot to do with computations, di ba? And numbers. And so let's defer to PhilHealth to answer that. And that's the last of the questions. So sa ating mga kababayan, maraming salamat po sa inyong pakikipagtulungan sa inyong pamahalaan. Kaya, lagi namin sinasabi, paulit-ulit, dahil kayo po ang first line of defense sa gyerang ito, bahay muna, buhay muna. Lalong-lalo na ngayon, maghihigpit na po ang Philippine National Police. Kaya, paalala lang po, huwag niyo na lang subukan, please. Please, huwag na lang. At sa ating mga kasama sa pagpapalaganap ng tama at napapanahong impormasyon sa iba't ibang mga media outlets sa TV, sa radyo, sa online at sa dyaryo, at sa lahat na nakahook up po sa amin ngayon, maraming salamat po. Mga kababayan, this COVID-19 pandemic was something that took the world by surprise. Lahat po tayo. Kung meron man akong napulot mula dun sa ASEAN Summit kahapon, pati yung ASEAN Plus 3, mayaman ka man, mahirap na bansa, pantay-pantay dito sa COVID-19 na ito. And it makes you think about ano talaga ang importante sa buhay. At pangalawa, lahat tayo, kahit anong bansa ka, kahit anong nationality mo, at the end of the day, lahat tayo tao. We are one human race being threatened by this COVID-19 virus. Kaya kailangan talaga magkaisa. And lastly, yung mga decision natin, hindi lang ng gobyerno, hindi lang ng pamahalaan, kundi ng bawat isang Pilipino na dadamay ang ibang tao sa ibang lupalop ng mundo. Ganyan ka tindihan. We are all interconnected and we are all together in this fight against this deadly virus. So something to think about. Kailangan isipin natin yan. Maraming salamat po. And may God bless and protect each and every one of you. Amping kanunay. Daghang salamat. Maayong buntag.